Hey everybody, welcome back to the Little Witch Academia Advent Vlog series, which I'm doing. And just this episode was a thing. And it also probably contains one of the best gags, at least in that the series has used so far. Similar to the one where they went into Susie's dream, but let me start from the beginning, actually. The way this episode opens is that Akko and the gang are basically just hanging around town, getting some ice cream, and it's brought to their attention that that boy that Akko ran into during that a couple episodes ago, like there's some kind of party for his school that it's throwing, and it's invite only, and naturally, Diana Cavendish is invited along with, unfortunately, her cronies, and the cronies proceed to rub it in Akko's face. Honestly, it seems like Diana couldn't give two shakes of a lamb's tail about this, but no, clearly this is an affront to Atsuko Kagari, so she must sneak her way in there and crash this darn party. And also, like before that got started, like Susie basically was accidentally sent this Cupid wasp or whatever the heck it was called, but it's basically a portable love potion in an insect. This will come into play later. But the girls basically head over to the magic item shop to try to get dresses, and magic dresses are apparently quite expensive, so they settle for this really old, like, dress in a box kind of Cinderella thing, which is supposed to only last 2 hours. The way things happen in this, I don't know how the time scale works, but forget that for the moment. They get that and a means to actually, get to where this party's being held. It's a fancy, like, cotillion ball kind of thing. So they do, and they distract the doorman, so they sneak in, whatever, and it's a swanky rich people party. Everybody's in fancy suits and dresses and the like. Susie's, of course, done up to be more witch-like. Well, from the Cinderella box, which that's just how I'm gonna refer to it. While Atsuko and Lottie are more traditional ball gown attire. And they clean up nice, all things considered. But yeah, so Akko's basically trying to low-key enjoy the party. Actually not trying to make a bunch of trouble this time. Like, as long as she's there, she's content. Of course, this all goes right out the window when the boy, who I can't remember his freaking name, of course I can't, the one with the dark hair that is in on Akko's the secret for the whatever thingy. But no, yeah, he comes over to talk to her. Things happen. Susie gets the bright idea to employ the Cupid wasp because I think Akko kind of conveyed that he was a good-looking guy or something or other. But basically, she unleashes the wasp. It stings him, and the way the wasp is supposed to work is the first person that they see after the person sees after they're stung, they fall madly in love with. And who does the guy look at first? But Akko, of course. And it's about as forced and as unnatural as it sounds. And the shoujo artwork gag comes back. The one that they used when Akko was trying to give Susie the medicine in her dream. That comes back, and that's effing hilarious. That's just a hilarious visual shorthand for this kind of thing. But yeah, Akko obviously didn't want this or consent to it, so she's a bit flustered. And naturally, the wasp also makes its way to other people and starts stinging them, and they basically have to go chase it. all throughout the mansion. And yeah, Diana actually ends up getting stung twice. As a matter of fact, the first time she is after like a couple other people have been stung and lay eyes on Akko. So by the time it gets to Diana and she sees Akko, Akko's basically just fed up with this, and that was funny. And eventually, Akko runs into what's his face. Like, he has a name. Why can't I remember it? But she runs into him and basically doesn't really act as lovey-dovey as he was before, so not sure how that's supposed to work. I guess maybe people mellow into it. Or something, I don't know. But she basically calls him out on, like, just being daddy's good little soldier or whatever, just doing whatever his dad tells him. And, you know, doing the whole I have a dream shonen hero thing. But yeah, the Wasp comes back into the picture before too long, and they have to go chase it there. And it stings a bajillion other people. Of course, a bunch of the one boy's friends, including the blonde guy from who I actually liked in that same last episode. He and a bunch of other people fall in love with Lottie, who, you know, handles it, I guess, with as much grace as she can, even if she is kind of a bit taken aback by the sudden attention. But the Wasp eventually goes into a piano that's been set up in the party room, and you know, the guy decides to play the piano. It was established before that, ignore that his dad basically didn't want him to learn the piano anymore. It's been years since he's played, but he plays, I guess, he plays Flight of the Bumblebees, which, uncreative, no points. No points, Trigger. I'm disappointed in you. And yeah, Osco continues to try to get the bee, wasp, whatever it is, and manages to finally smack it with a magical fly swatter onto the head of the dude's father, who promptly kicks them out. And that's about everything important in that episode. The lovey-dovey shoujo style artwork when somebody is stung with the what, that was just brilliant. That was a brilliant metaphor for they're just, please, more of that kind of thing, Trigger. Oh, and before I forget, the second time Diana was stung, when she looks up again, she looks in a mirror and basically falls madly in love with herself, and that was also a really good setup. But seriously, like, not necessarily my favorite episode, like, but definitely in the top 10 of, although considering this is only the 10th episode of the series that I've seen, make of that what you will. I'm sure another couple episodes will pop out at me as I keep watching, but that was basically this one. So let's see if the next one's at all any good.